the rain that we've got outside brings us the flowers, but it also brings a special time of the year for us, which is Relay for Life. And on April the 25th, on Friday, is our actual Relay for Life program. The ceremony begins at 7 o'clock. Survivors reception is at 2. And I have one of the most special survivors with me today, Robin Breeland. And you know, this is one of these, if you don't believe in miracles, I'm just saying, here's a miracle.
Absolutely.
And I truly mean that with my heart. And when Robin and I had talked, I thought, you know, she can tell this so much better than me just asking questions. And so most of it, Robin is going to be giving her testimony and telling you about her journey that she's walked this past year.
Thank you, Miss Sue. I feel honored to be here. I feel honored to be a part of Relay for Life. My story began back in, it sounds like a long time, but 2012, November. I thought I had what was just your ordinary sinus infection. Well, long story short, it was not. That was the beginning of my story and also the beginning of my miracles. God allowed me to have this sinus cancer, but He did not give it to me. He allowed me to have it, and for a bigger reason than just everyday life. When I was actually diagnosed with it, I didn't have a very bright outlook. They thought, you know, that this is something so rare that she will not, you know, she's just not going to make it.
And you know, that's what I kept hearing.
Right.
That from her friends who were my friends or whatever, it just was not good.
It was not good. But that was okay because God had already had all this lined up. He got me into the right practitioner. I was able to see her. She got me moving right on to an ENT in Jackson. He just did not hesitate. He got me right on to surgery, got it out. He said, okay, look, this is not good. We've got to get you somewhere. He consulted with all the cancer physicians in Jackson. They did not want to see me. St. Dominic's Baptist University, they did not know how to treat me. They thought, oh dear, no. So they sent me to MD Anderson in Houston. Another miracle was that my ear, nose, and throat doctor in Jackson was actually friends and colleagues with Dr. Hannah, that is over the head and neck department at MD Anderson.
Oh my
I mean,
goodness,
it was not, you know, they were friends. They knew each other from school. He was not taking any new patients, but he took me right on. I was able to get right in. And he told me that I had the rare cancer that I had was called sinonasal undifferentiated carcinoma.
I can't think of it short little name.
Snook for short. If you need that, and don't try to say it fast because you cannot.
I wouldn't be able to say it all, but okay.
When he told me that, I thought, oh dear. And he told me then. He said, you know, he said, this is very rare, but we're gonna take care of you out here. And he also told me at that point. He said, Robin, he said, you have the absolute best outlook of anybody I have ever seen with cancer. He said, you just have the best outlook. And I told him, I said, Dr. Hannah, I said, I feel okay about this. I said, God has given me a peace, you know, and I've turned it over to Him, and I feel okay. He jumped up out of his seat and he gave me a big old high five and he said, girl, we read the same book. We're going to be fine. You're going to be great.
God.
And I said, I already know that. Of course, at that time, I already had these cold chills go down, you know, for him telling me that. And I thought, okay, how can I not be fine? Okay. Got the best doctors in the world and the best physician giving them instructions and the knowledge to take care of me. So I'm good. You know, I'm good. So and I went through that and it was hard. I'm not gonna sit here and tell anybody that it wasn't, because it was very hard. I had 37 rounds of radiation. They were about 20 to 22 minutes apart every day.
Were you out there at this time?
I moved to Houston for 3 months. And apparently Houston shuts down the month of March because it's rodeo time the entire month. So that was a miracle in itself that we was actually able to find a place to live.
I know about
Because
that.
if you did not wear cowboy boots, you did not get a place to stay. And it just opened up. It just opened up the perfect place. This place was completely booked, had no openings. But the lady just called us one day and she said, "Look, I've had a cancellation. You're welcome to it." It was perfect. It was less than a mile from the hospital. It was just a straight drive to it. You know, and I could not have asked for anything any better. So my radiation, like I said, I had 37 rounds. It was about a little over 20 minutes a round. My chemotherapy, I had 9 rounds of chemotherapy. They were 3 days a week, every 3 weeks.
Okay, does this all going on
At the same time? It's all going on at the same time. The day I started my radiation was also the same day I started my chemotherapy. Within about 3 days, I had complete side effects from both. All the side
really?
effects. In about a week, my mouth was already had already started burning to the point that it was very painful. By the end of the second week, I was not able to eat anything. I was able to drink very, very little, but not much. By the third week, it was all over. I could not eat or drink. I could not talk. It was just, my mouth was just, and this doesn't sound very nice, but it was just one big blister.
I'm sure
it was just one big blister. I managed through it. I had to go through the emergency room several times at MD Anderson with dehydration and malnourishment. It finally got to the point that I did have to have a feeding tube put in, and I was scared to death of that, but it pulled me through. Had I not had the feeding tube, I could, that was one thing that helped me make it. Let's see. One of the biggest things that happened to me while I was there, I was running fever, went to the emergency room because that's a no-no when you're a cancer patient. If you run fever, you go to the emergency room. You don't wait. So I went to the emergency room. They put me in the hospital at MD Anderson, and they were treating me. And one day I was there by myself. I had sent my son home to our apartment. He was staying with me, and I told him to go take a nap because we had been up most of the night. He come back about 3 hours later, and I was in quarantine. They had locked me down.
Locked down.
They had quarantined me. I had MRSA at that point. They thought, well, the MRSA might get me before the actual cancer did. But hey, I pulled through that, and it was just like a light turned on. One day I was really sick. The next day I was just about ready to go home. And the second day I did go home. They said, "We've never seen anything like it." And I said, "I have. I know what did it. I know it comes straight from the Lord. He did this. He sent him. He's not finished with me." And at that point, I was able to return back to my apartment and finish out my treatments and my, stay there and get better.
I know, Robin, at one time, we didn't even think you were coming home. I mean, I don't mean just to the Pine Box. I mean that you would ever get to come back to society, so to speak.
Exactly.
Because you were there 3 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
All that time.
What
about your family during that time?
My family was awesome. Had it not been for my family, I could not have made it. My family and my friends, it was just unreal. They were constantly trading out. They stayed in the air as much as they stayed with me because somebody was constantly flying in and out. It just about took 2 people with me at all times. My mother stayed with me most of the time, and then one of my sisters or my husband or my children would come back and forth staying. Of course, they all had to work, so it was
it's
hard
not
on
like
them.
everybody could just walk away.
They could not just, they could not just walk out and leave their business or their work. So it was just great. I had a friend and her daughter, Janine Barnett and Grecian Berry. They would swap out with my family too, and it was just awesome. Had it not been for my faith, my family, and friends, I would not be here today. That's the only thing that has saved me, that brought me through it, and I know that. There are so many churches in this county, and just not in just this county, but everywhere, that prayed for me, that that just took care of me through all this. Had it not been for my home church, I'm not sure where I would be or my family would be, because they took such good care of them while I was gone also. But it was wonderful, and you know, and as crazy as this might sound, I thank God for allowing me to have this. It's not just cancer that people have a hard time dealing with. People have bad, situations every day. And if what I went through can offer just a little bit of hope, it was worth every bit of it. If I can give one person just that much hope, and they can see that God is really alive and He really works, He is really there for you, it was worth every bit of it.
Can you imagine someone of this caliber, this faith, and being with us today, and whole and complete? I hope you will consider coming to Relay for Life. And again, it's on Friday night, April the 25th, and it is at the Sportsplex. We'll have more information about Relay for Life for you on the website. If you have any questions or would like to talk at any time with Robin, you can contact me through MageeNews.com, and I'll be sure you get in contact with her. I hope that you will continue to pray, and mostly I hope that you will continue to have hope.
Absolutely.
Have a good day.